Okay, so the next part here, we're going to be calculating moles from mass. So if, for instance, we're given 10 grams of sodium hydroxide, we already know how to calculate the molar mass, or to determine the molar mass of sodium hydroxide. We found it to be 40.00 grams per mole. Okay, that means that for every 1 mole of sodium hydroxide, we have 40 grams of sodium hydroxide. And then for glucose, we calculated this to be 180.13 grams per mole. Okay, so how do we determine the number of moles from mass? You can just think about this. If 40 grams equal 1 mole, then 10 grams will be how many moles? Okay, you can do a simple ratio there. We know that 10 is a quarter of 40, so we'll get a quarter of 1 mole. So if by doing a simple ratio there, we find that 10 grams equal, just put this in red, 0.25 moles. Okay, you can do a simple ratio. The way I was taught was by doing cross multiplication, where we put x here. So we have a situation where 40 grams times x equal 10 grams multiplied by 1 mole. So x will be 10.00 gram times 1 mole divided by 40.00 gram. This allows us to cancel the grams, and the units we're left with are moles, and we get 0.25 moles. Believe it or not, moles is abbreviation of moles, just removing the E at the end there. But I'm very used to doing it this way, so I guess it works as an abbreviation. Same thing for glucose. We are given that 180.13 grams equal 1 mole, and we're asked how many moles is 20 grams. Okay, I'm going to solve this in a slightly different way, but it just depends on how you were taught how to do this. So I'm going to do dimensional analysis for this one. And when you're doing a dimensional analysis, you put what you're given first, the question mark. So our question mark is how much is 20 grams in moles, and then we multiply the first line. So here we're given that 180 grams equal 1 mole, right? So if I say here times 180 grams divided by 1 mole, since these two things are equivalent, this fraction here equals 1. So I have not changed the amount at all, because it's like I took 20 grams and I multiplied it by 1. Okay? The reason why we do this fraction, multiply by this fraction, is to help us cancel out units. Okay? So if you look at the way that I've written it right now, it's not going to help me cancel out units because I'm going to get grams squared over mole, which is going to give me a headache. So I'm not going to write it in this way. Rather, I would write it so that the denominator here has units of grams. So we know it's 180.13 grams. And then the top here is going to be in mole. The way we determine how to put the fraction is to ensure that we can cancel out units. So for instance, now here I have grams, will cancel grams, and what I'll be left with will be moles. So 20 divided by 180.13, 0.1110. Okay, and I'll have 4 significant figures here because the smallest significant figure was 4. Okay, and this will be in the units of moles or moles.